Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? Today for me is just gonna be a super amazing day, because we are going to get the inventory panel from Ender.io, and that will solve my storage problems. Oops. Yeah, I made a teeny tiny boo-boo with the calculation of different dusts, but that's also going to be the theme of today, making different dusts. From Ender.io, for example, this is electrical steel, and this one is dark steel. I also did manage to get a few Ender pearls from the quest book, but we can also buy them. Cause guess what, we also need pulsating iron. Okay, nothing to worry about, it's just a normal night. Nothing has gone wrong. At least it's a very good thing to know that my torching system works. I hope. This is the high voltage age, and now the recipes for motors as well as other pistons, pipes and etc. are a bit more expensive. So this stupid motor is costing us like, I don't know, 10 resources, 12? I don't even want to count. We also don't really want to make that many high voltage machines. We're not that filthy rich. Well, it's not that we're just not super filthy rich. It's that we're doing garbage. I have done mining, but the resources are being prepared. Anyways, in order to get the inventory panel, we need literally 2 machines from the high voltage age. One of them is actually the generator, which we need in order to power that stupid machine. So a semi-fluid generator. That should be a quest somewhere. Maybe not. They don't like that one. And the actual machine that we want to make is an advanced chemical reactor. But before we make it, let's check the recipe of the Eye of the Ender. Yeah, it's a chemical reactor. We're not making the wrong machine. I think it was 2 episodes ago that I mentioned I went to a roguelike dungeon in search of an enchantment table, which I didn't find it, but we did manage to get blaze powder. Not really sure if you can actually buy that one too, but we have some. And we don't have the pearls. I got 8 as a quest reward, I don't know where I put them. Some of you tell me that you can use that key and find something in a chest, but have you seen the number of chests I have? You know, even outside here, we have a few chests, even for ores. Cause the ones inside are full. All of them. It's okay, worst comes to worst, in 4 minutes I can buy 16 more. But these are the 2 main machines that we need from the high voltage age, so we put them over here so that there's not going to be a mix-up. And now that we have absolutely nothing else to do until waiting for 4 minutes, let's make some capacitors. Is that a quest? Ender.io actually starts at the MV age, so maybe it's something there? Ah, you want me to make all the stuff. It's not that expensive, let's do that. I want the quests to count. I just had to take a minor detour, and we're going to waste a teeny tiny bit of resources for the quests to count, but we have the machine chassis. We're going to start with an alloy smelter, which is obviously a quest. Obviously, the wrench is broken, as usual, but we also need some electrical steel frame box, and we shall make a few fluid tanks. I think we're out of steel bars, yeah. Oops, there was an Enderman in front of me. And yes, as I have been mentioning, a few tanks. This is the part that we're wasting a ton of resources, but a combustion generator just for the quest. And this is the part where we are not wasting resources, the vat. Because if you guys remember, we need to make nutrient distillation. This one doesn't require a capacitor. Good. Another thing is that the quest for the Ender pearls has been updated, so let's make a few eyes of the Ender. Okay, there are no circuits, you just craft it. Awesome. It's consuming a stupendous amount of fuel. Actually, it's not that bad. We're gonna move to something else after we get distillation towers. A better fuel alternative. And guess what, even if we want to go to the stronghold and we want to use Eyes of the Ender, well, we don't have to locate it. I already found it. My mining tunnel actually, I think, goes through a stronghold. I'm not really sure. I didn't dare to go down. So there is a part of this that the quest is not really gonna count, and that's because we need vibrant alloy. Well, we don't need it in order to make the inventory panel, but we need it for the quest, and that requires a freezer, obviously. But it also requires nichrome coils for the blast furnace. So that part of the quest is not gonna count. But the rest will. Making the inventory panel and operating that stupid inventory panel is actually way more difficult in this version, because in the previous version we didn't have the solar grade silicon. We just had silicon. And well, in order to make the remote awareness upgrade, I need 4. And also 2 high voltage circuits. So that's gonna be fun. I put everything that I need for the inventory panel here. I'm already short on inventory space, but that is our slice and splice. Maybe it's not a very good idea, but we got some capacitor banks and they do have RF inside. And since I need 1 Z logic controller, we're gonna use that. That was a huge waste. 100,000 RF. Anyways, long story short, I have to get that silicon again. I was really hoping they sell it to us. Actually, there are a few quests that I have not claimed. Do you give me extra? Why would I want dark beer? Well, on a very positive note, we got 4. Not sure if it's worth it. We actually have to automate it somehow. Automation can wait. We have 36 ingots. They're hot. I have also added more resources to the circuit assembler, and as a result we have how many circuits? 4. Why 4? I think it's electron wire. Something that we're missing? Yes. Oh, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, then we will have 12. 12 is a good number. Another thing is that, yes, I have made a diamond dolly because we needed to move chests, you know, like so. And I have also converted some construction powder into binder composite. Not really sure how it works, but we need a chemical bath with plastic or rubber. That should give us a conduit binder. Yeah. And it gives you a lot. I think I made too many. It doesn't have that many uses. Well, I guess you can make facades. Let's get more rubber. For the moment, I think what we have is more than enough. Let's cool down the silicon. It takes 40 seconds and there's nothing I can do about it. However, while that thing is cooling down, there's one more thing that I want to do. I just made some fused quartz. So there are no infinite water sources in this mod pack, but there are 3 options as far as I know. One of them is the tank from Railcraft. The second tier is the reservoir from Ender.io. It just gives you a ton of water. And then after titanium, there's one more. And I'm out of stainless steel. I'm cooking more. Well, during the steam age, I did... Oh, I have some on me. I was going to say I did manage to find 2. But yeah, I'm cooking more. That also takes a minute. But yeah, silicon solar grade. I think we can craft it very soon. For the moment, we are not filthy rich. We can have 2 pumps. And we need 2 sets of reservoirs. What? Oh, you need 4 pumps. I'll be right back. As I have already mentioned, yeah, we're going to have 2 sets of reservoirs. And that's going to provide us with an infinite water source if we make a 2x2 and provide it with water. We need to actually have way more of these things. They make like 1 bucket per second, so it's like 200 times more efficient than one of these tanks. But yeah, 2 buckets of water should give us an infinite water source. Also, if we wrench it, it will auto output. Yeah, it's going into the vat. We are going to fix the power issue. I just got the quest. But let's try to make some nutrient distillation first. I think you can go with heads and sugar. How much power does it consume? 20 hours per tick. That's not bad. And it gives you 500 millibuckets. That's also not that bad. So let's see if we can make the actual inventory panel. So here is our remote awareness upgrade. And it's a bit scary that I can only make the one. Yeah. Silicon. We will have more. So that's the awareness upgrade and, well, that's the panel. I have it. Awesome. And we have nutrient distillation. We need 2 more awareness upgrades. I think you need 1 for the inventory panel and 1 for each inventory that you're connecting to it. Yeah, we have more silicon. You're slow. Oh, there's more here. Okay. If it gives me 2 more, I'm gonna be surprisingly happy. Thank you. Let me try to set up a system. Oh, and by the way, there is something called a compressed chest. It's not horrifyingly expensive. I mean, yeah, we can afford a few, and it does give you 243 stacks of items as an inventory. So it's really great, but I think for the moment we go with the dark steel chest. You know, just to save on a bit of stainless steel. Although remote awareness upgrade is a bigger pain. I don't know what to do. Let me try to figure it out. I'll be right back. Some of you very observant viewers might notice a very slight time gap because I ran into a few problems. And yes, I am trying to solve them, but yeah, we do have our inventory panel. Ignore the block palette, I'm still working on it. But the inventory panel does work and I'm really happy with it. For the moment, we have 3 of these compressed chests. The problem is that, yeah, even though compressed chests takes ages to make, it's actually better than making a circuit. The reason that I'm actually saying that the compressed chest actually takes a very long time to make is because of this obsidian plate. So you need a medium voltage bending machine, which I had to make, and it takes 3 minutes for just a double plate. Well, it's called a dense plate, I don't know. So yeah, it has been ages later, and I'm also trying to make some silicon, the solar grade version. Another thing is that, yeah, we're going to have 3 or more compressed chests, but we need one more thing which is important. It's actually not here. We need to use drawers. I have used all of my HP circuits in order to make the remote awareness upgrades, and I only have the 1. Can I have 1 more? Yes. So basically what we're going to do is that for the rest of our storage, we're going to use storage drawer. And well, I need 1 extra remote awareness upgrade, which we can make it now. However, making the drawer itself is also going to be a teeny tiny bit time consuming. First, we are going to need a decent amount of stone dust. It's actually quite abundant. We have them everywhere. We do have to compress it. Yes, it's working. So the thing is, in GregTech we do get a ton of dusts, and well, we cannot keep it inside compressed chests. It gets out of control really fast, and most of the things that we're going to get are going to be in dust form anyways. So drawers are just going to be a far better substitute. We want to make a few oak drawers, which the recipe doesn't really matter, it's fine, so that we would be able to make different upgrades and etc. But we want to go with frame drawers. And especially this one, the 1x2. It's going to be more compact, and besides we're going to get tons of dusts. That does require the carpenter's block, so I'm making some wooden frame boxes. You don't really have to do it inside an assembler, I'm just doing it. I don't know why. But it also requires a ton of wooden screws, which we do have a lathe. Yeah, that one is fast. Also, we are going to need tons of chests, so let's cut some wood. That inside an assembler is going to be way easier. You look weird. Anyways, these are not the important parts. The actual important part is the storage drawer, the controller. That's the recipe. It's not that bad once you look at it. This part is the worst one, comparator. So we need to get into Project Red, and we need to make a decent amount of them. So we need stone plates, we need etched low voltage wiring. Using red alloy foils, I'm actually making the red wiring, and we do have 20. We are making some stone plates, that is perfect. And everything I think has to go inside a forming press, so let's get some of those wires. Okay, it's decently fast. Project Red also provides us with decent light sources, and I really want to use them. You know, these ones. All of them require these circuits, so let's make a bunch. I just crafted some of these parts from Project Red, and let's see if we can actually make our drawer controller. And there's a creeper. Actually, it's not really a bad idea to kill him. The problem is that he's next to my HP machine, so maybe not. Anyways, that is our oak drawer. That should be our two comparators, and hopefully that's going to be the drawer. No. Do we have MV circuits? That's MV. That is a diamond plate that... Oh, we don't have the obsidian one. Don't you worry, I have been cutting a lot. So it's that, the drawer, the comparators, and some stainless steel plates. Awesome. Drawer controller. That is a quest. That actually goes over there, I think. Yeah, that should give me enough space for drawers, and I also need to hook it up to some sort of an item conduit. I have 4. There's no way I have 4. I have more. I have crafted some. I remember that distinctly. Yeah, we have 14 in total. Although I do have a hunch that I might need to have a bit more. We just need to have some sort of a connection from our drawer controller to our inventory panel. That's it. Yeah, I just need like 5 more. It's fine. Hello! It has been a while, and I think I have done a decent amount of progress. Well, I came outside the base exploring in order to find some hardened clay for aluminium. And yes, I have been working on a semi-modern base. We can't really go with bricks. It's too expensive. Also, resources, crafting, and even building takes a lot of time, so at this very moment it doesn't really have that many details. It's not really a huge remodeling. This is basically our kitchen again. This is our drawer room, and there's also a second floor, but this time it does have a roof. And well, inside we have our inventory panel, a few extra rooms for extra stuff, and obviously our drawers. But that's not all I did. I also worked a bit on our machine room. It doesn't look totally different, I give you that. Because I mean, look at the machines, all of them look the same. And all of them are the same. But I have made some generators, and I also assembled all of our MV machines. There are a few extra ones here. For example, we have an extra advanced assembling machine, and most importantly, an arc furnace. This is for giving me glass so that I can make the base. On the other hand, our LV machines have been transferred over here, and it's a teeny tiny bit more organized. For example, we're getting hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen over here. Then I have the usual garbage machines, and over here I have a system for cooling down everything. I was cooling down Cantle. I didn't know where to put this guy. We put you here. Let's electrolyze the clay first. That's not how you do that. You have to break it down. I have been processing some clay dust, and yeah, now we are producing some aluminium. And it's decently fast this time. It's 1 every 5 seconds. Anyways, one of the things which is holding me really back is the solar grade silicon. I try to get it as fast as I can, but it's a bit time consuming. So maybe we should have a small automation for it. I don't think it has to be something super fancy, it can be done in the low voltage age. I had to redo this part because apparently I was just mumbling and I just made a boo-boo with the recipes, so I have extra machines. But the way that I understand everything can be done inside like literally 2 chemical reactors, I'm not exactly sure. So one of them is going to receive hydrochloric acid and the raw silicon and some cells. That's going to give us hydrogen as well as whatever the hell this is. That on circuit number 1 is going to consume the hydrogen and give us solar grade silicon. The only problem is that I'm not really sure if this can go on a loop. We will get our hydrochloric acid back and we can send it back to the first chemical reactor. So the only thing that we're losing is hydrogen? No? What are we losing? Doesn't sound right. This is grandma's teeth, nagging horses. They don't give you anything for free. Maybe they do, I'm not really sure. We let it run for a while. See where it goes. I think we're losing the hydrochloric acid. Ah, that's the catch. Okay, so this is not gonna work. Yeah, I think we have to go with the one which gives us salt. Okay, so I did not make a boo-boo. I needed all of these machines. I'll be right back. So I went with the second method of getting chlorine and infusing raw silicon, and so far it doesn't seem that we're losing anything. I don't know, maybe we are and time will tell. But I have started cooking some silicon, and now that we're in the high voltage age, it takes around 40 seconds or something. There is one more thing that I want to do, and that is to convert all of the hydrogen sulfide that we're getting from oil processing into sulfuric acid. I'm crafting a lot of cells and I think it's a waste. And besides, we do need the sulfuric acid. Yeah, you just convert it into diluted sulfuric acid by mixing it with water. You get your cell back, which is great, and then we have to distill it. It's circuit number 1. Lovely. Yeah, now at least we are properly recycling. While we are waiting for machines to finish their jobs, I want to go to the Twilight Forest. Since we are in the high voltage age, I guess it's also time to start working on Thaumcraft, the purple mod. I think magic is kind of optional in this mod pack, but it will make our lives a bit easier. I just thought maybe I should also finish the harvest of steel. It's a lot of ingots. I did mention that I want to go to the Twilight Forest in order to start Thaumcraft, but I saw a cryolite vein. And you know, I like mining. So the thing is, after I got the tunneler from a quest reward, I think I kind of got spoiled. I think the rest of my tools are a bit garbage. Well, obviously I don't think they are garbage. So maybe we should move on to cobalt, and I also have a teeny tiny bit of Damascus steel. Also, since I'm centrifuging cobaltite, I do have a ton of cobalt dust. I haven't cooked them yet, but we have like 300 of them, which is great. And also, if I'm not wrong, I did some mining in the nether, so after I got the tunneler, I got a few cobalt ore. Okay, ignore what I said. I only have 3 ores. Well, it's a good start, I guess. We can cast it out. What is that? Oh my goodness. That's an excavator head. I didn't want that. Yeah, we're out of cobalt. I'll make more. As it turns out, that cobalt ore actually has to be processed. You cannot just put it directly inside the smeltery. And the Damascus steel has to be extruded, which takes ages. Literally finished now. But the change in durability is actually quite amazing. I mean, for example, this is my excavator, right? Durability is almost 3000. Now it's 7500. But yeah, every 35 seconds we're also getting a cobalt ingot. We're going to need a ton of cobalt in order to repair stuff, so maybe I should also hit a cobaltite vein. Yeah, for Damascus steel, I already had 11 ingots which I have found. Otherwise you need a vacuum freezer. So that's lucky. I'm just making handles, nothing special. It's a good thing I didn't waste it on a file. I just wanted to mention these extra hearts are a bit handy. There's so many mobs under the Twilight Forest, and I have no idea why. But it's good. Out of this, we might even get an extra life. Oh, hi, creeper. Well, the main reason that we are caving is that we also want these mushrooms to get into Botania. There are no mystical flowers yet. You have to craft them using Thaumcraft. Until you can, you need the mushrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back from the Twilight Forest, and here's what we're going to do. Well, actually, there are so many things that we're doing at this very moment. I have hammered down some of the shards. I think more is being prepared. Yeah, hoppers are not the best. But what can you do? You can't have conduits everywhere with speed upgrades. They're kind of expensive at this very moment. So you are making me an aluminium tank, which is fine. We're going to use the other assembler with circuit number 2, and I also have the wrong wood. I thought it sticks. Yes, as I was saying, we're going to use the assembler and some wood in order to make impregnated sticks. Circuit number 2. Oh, that's surprisingly fast. Why is it so fast? Let's get more. Why not? By the way, that's peanut oil. Very handy. Anyways, with that impregnated stick, we can make our first wand from Thaumcraft. The first one is actually going to be totally garbage, but we don't really have a choice. We need aluminium screws, we need the iron cap. Why? Why can't you just use nuggets? Well, I guess we don't have foils. That's fine. I'll get some. One thing that I didn't check is that do we have screws? 2. Let's also make some screws. So if nothing has gone wrong, that should be 1 iron cap, 2 iron caps, and we just need the Naga scale, which should be over here. Yes, we have 11. So there you go. Our iron capped wooden wand. Capacity 25 and pretty much garbage. Yay! We got our first wand. We're done with Thaumcraft. No. So I already found the Thaumanomicon. It should be in one of the chests. Thank you. And where do we begin? Scribing tools. Oh, it's done. I have already made some rubber rounds so we can have our glass files. Those are the potions I drank. Or I don't know, beer, whatever. We also need to make the thermometer, which does require a diamond lens. I just want the quest to count. I have the diamond lens. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our first thermometer. So on its own, it's kind of garbage. They will tell us what to scan. Lead. Well, honestly speaking, I don't really think it's going to be that different from normal Thaumcraft, so let's scan water. That's the source of life. So I can scan grass. Okay, sources of life. Yes. So it's water and earth. And by earth, I just mean terra, so this should be acceptable? Yeah. Now we can do grass. Now, what else is sources of life? I'll figure it out. Okay, we have discovered Perdicio, also light. For some reason, it's telling me to scan coal. Okay, then grass. I don't really think this is in order. Screw the scanning. We're going to do this the traditional way. That is a scribing tool. We should have some paper. We don't have any paper. How would you make paper? A wood pulp in a chemical bath. I really prefer just to find the paper. Oh, we have 2. Well, there is some in the chests. I just have to find them. And I also have to find the chests. Anyways, that's our table. Here is our scribing tools. Okay, so here's the thing. The GUI of the research table has changed from 1.7 to 1.12 to, I don't know, different versions. So I was a bit confused. Water and earth give us life. And that was the sources of life. So now I can scan grass. Thank you. Order and chaos give us exchange. We just want to be able to discover a few things. For example, we know destruction and life should give us death. Exactly. I think order and air should give us motus. Perfect. That's moving things. So probably like a piston. I need to study tools, yes. Anyways, let's do some more research. We know that a living thing which moves is an animal. Life after death is a spirit. Spirit and fire should give us the brain. Animal with a brain is a human, and the human with order can use tools. So you're a piston. Thank you. So that, I don't think it really matters. We can just go around and scan things. Literally anything. Because once you know enough base aspects, you can discover compound aspects. This one we're missing something. Study food. Oh, okay. Well, I have food. Thank you. There was one with Vacus and Victus. Yes. Is that food? I don't know. For some reason, I just want to scan that thing. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. And yes, somehow I have scanned it. I went to the kitchen and scanned every type of food that we had, and I also made myself a few snacks. So yeah, we have unlocked a decent amount of aspects. However, early in the morning, I woke up too early, I made a change to our steam reservoir. Do you notice the difference? This is actually an aluminium tank. It has 4 times the capacity. So this is 12.8 million millibuckets of steam. The tank was empty, my coffee was not ready, so I just switched it. That's not a huge investment because aluminium is cheap, I can make it every 5 seconds, and well, it's easy to bend. Anyways, I never calculate how much resources I need for something, so we have a lot in excess. 75 to be exact, and I can make way more. So I was thinking maybe we should redesign the entire thing because there is a height limit to the tank, and well, it doesn't look like 8 blocks, but yeah. There's a bit more down there. Also, I do use steam in order to do ore processing, which I also have to improve because this system is not really paying off. Let me explain to you the problem. So, I go mining, and with the recent change in the mod pack, which you have fortune and you have raw ores, well, I do get a ton of ores. And that's not the entire thing. There's way more over here. Everywhere. You see? The problem with GregTech is that, well, ores are garbage, you need to process them, you need to centrifuge them, you need to macerate them, and etc. And everything takes time. For example, previously I needed aluminium, mainly for the tank. Now I need stainless steel, so I need manganese, so I have processed another ore. That has already taken like an hour. Then I have to centrifuge that stupid thing, and well, we're still full on the previous lot. So the ores that I want are going to take, I don't know, maybe an hour just to get ready. Basically what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, later on I also need rubies, so I can start making stainless steel in like 3 hours, which is not great. There are multi-block macerators which are amazing, however, they're from the IV age-ish. Well, there's something in it which is from the IV age, I think. Well, maybe not the macerator. Yeah, a good example is the electrolyzer. Tungsten steel, IV machine casing. So that's a good 200 hours away from now, I suppose, which is fine, but it does mean that I have to use steam for ore processing at least until we get to the multi-blocks from the IV age. Also, even though we are at the high voltage age, we still have machines and automations which work with steam. Otherwise, I have to waste fuel on them, and fuel is kind of limited. Long story short, we need to do some remodeling. We don't need the hammer anymore. That part I'm actually quite sure of. We have an LV hammer, there are steam hammers, and hammering is fast. And obviously the main reason that I want to do some remodeling is that I want to expand the tank. And well, as it stands, we don't have space. Also, another very important thing is that this boiler from Railcraft is actually quite amazing. It does generate a decent amount of steam when it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, but when it reaches 500 degrees, the steam production is just ridiculous. And the main problem is that if you have a small tank, then you don't have space for the steam that it's producing. So this is why we are going with a bigger buffer, that's it. Yay! We have a blood moon. Why do you have 115 health? 56! Wow. So this is going awesome. I just wanted to mention that. He has 9 armor points. Hey, you! Shut up. Oh my goodness, another one. I mean, look on the positive side. If I don't die, I'm gonna get an extra heart. By heart, I mean life. Anyways, I have finished up the changes, and yes, we have a massive tank full of steam. 25,000 buckets. Maybe I should explain the rest of that in the morning. It's too dark, you don't see anything anyways. I barely can see anything. And yeah, I'm just luring in the zombies. Well, the thing is, I also don't mind being able to upgrade my sword. By a bit. He has 464 hit points. Mobs have been buffed. I just wanted to mention that. Oh, and by the way, he does armor piercing damage. He's awesome. Okay, also, oh, I have already killed the zombies. Okay, we have to kill something else. But the sword will be upgraded very soon. Yes, we can put more sharpness on it. Hello, boys. That's a giant skeleton. We run. I'll see you in the morning. I just wanted to mention, it's early in the morning. So good morning. I should have held my wand. That could have been a lot of free V. So as I have been saying, yeah, now we have a massive reservoir for steam, which is amazing. I also made the boiler a bit taller. I think that is the maximum size. And we have solar boilers up there. I brought our advanced coke oven over here as well, so that we can get blocks of coal coke, because I'm always lazy to go over there near our blast furnaces. And I kind of automated everything regarding ore processing. So here's what we can do. This is the input chest. So if we have some raw ores, we can just put it inside. It will go inside the macerators. Come on, get something. Both of them work. Once they macerate everything, there is a hammer down there, which is going to hammer the macerated ore. Because these guys are not going to give us a bonus product, they're just going to macerate things, so why not use a hammer? Once everything is hammered, the impure dust goes inside 2 centrifuges, and yes, I'm using wall sharing. I don't really like wall sharing, but I also didn't want this guy to be that chunky. So it's a situational thing. But yeah, eventually we get the actual dust. Everything is automated, so I just have to dump in the raw ore and, well, I get the dust. Again, automation in GregTech New Horizons is a very loose term. It's semi-automatic. It does part of the job for me. And since during mining you also get crushed ores or impure ores, I do have a few chests over here, so that I can insert the ores in the appropriate cycle of ore processing. Another thing is that since I have made an extra centrifuge, well, we only have like 262 steel ingots left. I had 1.4 thousand. Although it's fine, I think there's 600 left. We can take it out. Yeah, there is 600 left. Also, the staircase that I had, which used to go to the machine room, which was down here, is now covered, because they did give us 2 elevators. You know, from open blocks. We can just teleport, like so. I do remember these used to consume experience, now I don't see anything. Or maybe it's just because I have like 52 levels and that's a lot. When I'm not recording, I want to do some Thaumcraft research, and for that I needed paper. So I came to this jungle and got a jungle sapling. Yeah, this is a fake jungle, but there was a date tree and that had a jungle sapling. It's from Pam's Harvest Craft. They have weird trees. What I would love to know is that can we cheat? Yeah. That's a paper bark sapling. I do have some bone meal. It's not really a big deal, we can even make fertilizer. So, first off, you grow. And that's paper. I was really lazy. So now if I want to do some research, I can just get the notes. Yes, nitor is nice. Hallows will be used for infusion. I need to know about golden caps. And the great wood wand. Oh, and yeah, the goggles. Why not? Also, paving stones of warding is really not a bad idea. That's a lot of research. Okay, for some of them we have not discovered an aspect, which is fine. That would be Ordo and Perdicio and you. Yes. Not the most efficient way. That was Thaumium. GregTech machines do provide you with a lot of Ordo and Instrumentum. For example, this is a centrifuge. And there you go. You get one stack of each, so I used those. I just wanted to mention that, yeah, you can waste a lot of aspects, it's fine. But the problem is that we are missing a few aspects and I could not finish two of the most important researches, and one of them is Nitor. For example, we don't have Aurum, we have Darkness, we mixed it with the Void. That gives us Alienis. And Precantio with Chaos should give us Vitium. Yeah, these are the ones I knew. Okay, that worked. That's Aurum. That I still don't know. And that one I know. Let me scan a few things. So it has been a while later and I have done a decent amount of research. Also mainly in Botania. Because Botania is nice, why not start it early? But there's also a few things related to Thaumcraft itself. And I think now it's time to do some alchemy, then we need to do some gregging. I have gathered a few stuff and we're going to do this next to the lake. But in any case, that's our arcane work table. You just place down the table, you right click with the wand. And yes, I had a few creeper accidents. And did you know I forgot the most important things? We need some netherrack, and we need some flint and steel. I'm just making a bunch. It's nighttime again. Okay, we at least do this in the morning. We will have plenty of time. First things first, let's make some fire. Come on, thank you. We shall have our cauldron, like so. We shall take a nap, and then obviously we turn it into a crucible. Actually, we need to harvest it once, for the quest to count. Thank you. Also, this is Thaumcraft, scan everything. Jerk. So the first thing that we are going to craft is going to be Nitor, so that we don't burn every 5 seconds. So that's glowstone with some aspects. Oh, what a jerk. I believe if we provide it with 2 coal and 4 torches and drop a glowstone, we get Nitor, yes. We should get more. What did I drop? I dropped something. I don't really know what I dropped. Let's empty it. Oh, that's showing me the crucible. For the quest to count, we are going to need 4 Nitor. Or 5? Yes. Then we need the alumentum, which is not that important, but we make some just in case. That's 1, and that's 2. That should be another quest. Let's empty it. Of course, after that, we're going to start making some balanced shards. You just drop every single shard. That's it. And after a while, you will get enough Precantio to get some Thaumium. It's just that I don't remember what's the ratio. Okay. 4 shards gives you 5 Thaumium. So let me get a bunch. I'll be right back. I got my Thaumium, I got my balanced shards, and now what I want to try and do is to get some V. So in this mod pack we have something called a primal shroom. When it grows, you break it, you get some V in your wand. That's also apparently our next quest, so let's deal with it. You can buy the V shrooms. I just bought 5. But it's, I think, every half an hour or something. Did I mess it up? How can I mess it up? You know, the problem is I don't know what's in there. I haven't done the research. Oops, that's a mess. It's from Thaumic bases, and I don't see it anywhere. Okay, so primal shrooms. Now we can craft it. That was my bad. It's just that I don't have enough shrooms. It's gonna take 10 minutes. It's okay. I'm gonna wait for 10 minutes. Even though that was a mess, it has been 10 minutes, and yeah, I can have an extra life. Good to know. Let's consume it. We have 8. Ironically, I haven't died. So let's try this one more time, and this time we're going to stand on top of dirt so that we don't burn. So it's 10 entropy shards. Actually, let's buy them first. Yes. So 10 entropy shards, 10 wheat should give us 5. Please, yes. And since I messed it up, we can have a bit more. Yeah, a total of 8. There should be something left in the crucible, so let's empty that. It's not much. It would be funny if we get taint. But I think also as a quest reward, I'm going to get more shrooms. 4 more. And a loot bag with seeds. Awesome. Let's make more. Until we get the gold one and find decent nodes, this is the best way of doing that, I suppose. So again, shards, wheat, and the shroom. So for the moment we have 12. Also, we should always empty the cauldron. I don't know, we plant it in our bedroom. Ignore the villagers. The shrooms actually grow really fast and my wand is full. So I was thinking maybe we should use it. We're going to make a few enchanted fabric. We can't make much, because this wand actually has a penalty. Oh, and by the way, as a quest reward, I got purifying salt and ocelots, and also some Precantio, and an enderman. Interesting. So this part is going to be grindy. I'm not going to do that on camera, and it's probably going to take an episode on its own, but we're going to need a ton of these enchanted fabrics. We have to make the Thaumaturge's robe, and the leggings and the boots. And then eventually I have to, I think, upgrade it into the Bewitched robe. I have done all the research, so it's not a big deal. It's just that I have to wait for more mushrooms, which we just got. It's not much. So that's something that is going to be ready next episode, but for today, we need to do a few stuff. So I have moved more mushrooms. Let me buy that. Yes, as I was saying, I have made this into an ore processing system and it's decently fast. However, the problem is that if I want to use the macerator, I can't. Because, you know, everything automatically goes to a centrifuge. So here is what we're going to do before we move on to some gregging. Here is another steam macerator. We are going to need 22 bronze plated bricks, which is fine. It's gonna be made out of steel. But the number is the same, so who cares? I have been crafting a ton of rods. So 22, I need 30 for also the squasher or the compressor. I can do it in a machine, but here it's faster. If you don't mess it up. Yeah, that should be 52 casings. That's a ton of steel. Also, this is not updating, which is weird. Oh, give me back my hammer. Okay, it's 200 now. And I need some hatches. Let me craft that. This might sound a bit weird to some of you guys, that's why am I investing so much in Steam while we are at the high voltage age. And that's a good concern. Also from some of the comments that you guys have left on the previous episode, I think I know where it comes from. So while I'm assembling this guy, let me try to explain. Are you kidding me? Where did you come from? Okay, he died. So for example, a lot of you guys have been suggesting to me that, for example, instead of harvesting clay, I should centrifuge dirt because it's abundant and you get a tiny pile of clay dust. And well, technically you're right because there's tons of dirt everywhere, but you might notice I'm actually filling in the entire village. So dirt is abundant, but I'm using it. And besides, a 50% chance of getting a tiny pile of clay dust takes 12 seconds. And it takes 7,500 EU. So one reason that I'm actually not using that recipe is that, well, it takes ages. I think it will take like 2 minutes to get just one clay dust. As for the other reason, I will explain that to you in a moment. Because I have to be in the machine room. I have assembled everything and we're using the machines. So here's the thing, some of you guys have been suggesting to me that I should use alternative recipes compared to what I'm using right now. And well, you should remember that every recipe is situational, depending on what you have, depending on the time, depending on the resources. So for example, somebody suggested that I should get this raw aluminium, which is fine, because we have tons of aluminium dust. And then I should use that recipe inside the blast furnace. I do have nitrogen, so it's going to take 144,000 EU. The recipe that I'm using currently consumes 192,000 EU, but it gives me 4 aluminium ingots. Why is that important? Well, oil is not infinite. Well, at least not for me, because these are raw oil. I mean, it's an ore, and well, I'm running out. That's my entire supply. True, I have a ton of heavy oil. It's like 3,600 buckets. But 1 bucket of heavy fuel that I'm making gives me 360,000 EU. So I can use that in order to make 2 aluminium ingots, or almost 8. So I'm basically using a recipe which consumes far less fuel, which is I think a logical thing to do. And yes, there are far better fuel sources and we will get there, but first I need this, the workstation, the EV circuit, because that's what I need in order to make a stupid distillation tower, and that's it. I don't really want to do oil processing or any type of processing inside these kind of distilleries. They're not really worth it. For literally the same reason, I'm also not going to get into applied energistics anytime soon. Because applied energistics is going to consume fuel, and at first it's just going to be used for storage. I mean, you can't really autocraft with LV machines. You can, but it's gonna be slow and garbage. The inventory panel that I have at this very moment does not consume any power. It does require a bit of nutrient distillation, but it's not much. So I am going to use that until we get to multi-block machines and also faster processing, at least with assemblers. Anyways, moving on, I have just assembled these guys, 2 centrifuges, and what they're doing is that they're centrifuging cinnabar. Once you centrifuge cinnabar, what you're going to get is of course sulfur, but you also get mercury. And so far we have 8 buckets. I have tons of cinnabar and I have tons of ores. We are actually going to use that cinnabar in order to get something very rare. So nickel inside a chemical bath with mercury gives you platinum metallic powder. And if I manage to get a high voltage macerator, yeah, it's going to give me more, a bit more. I'm also processing some chalcopyrite. We're going to use that as well because we're getting tons of sulfuric acid. You know, from oil processing, we have 200 buckets. Nice. There's way more hydrogen sulfide. Well, from the old days, we still have a chemical bath, so let's use that one. Also, yeah, this might look like a waste, but I'm using steam. I'm not using anything special. What? Mercury. That's a quest. Okay. But very slowly, that chemical bath is going to provide me with some platinum, which I'm going to use in order to make circuits more efficiently. Another problem that I have is that I need tantalum. Okay, that requires a vacuum freezer, I think. I guess we will see. But yeah, we got platinum. It's actually not amazing. It gives you like 2 nuggets. We need a ton. Hence, I'm also pulverizing some chalcopyrite. That, I think, if we do manage to wash it and mix it with sulfuric acid, should give us tiny pile of platinum group sludge dust. That's actually quite fast. But centrifuging it takes ages. It's okay, we have multi-blocks, that's fine. I don't know if it's possible or not, but in 2 episodes I really want to start going to the EV age. This is why I'm actually working on circuits, and if we want to work on circuits, we need more wafers. So I can have a total of... yeah, that's not much. We can have 4 monocrystalline silicon. That's the stack of wafers, so it's not that bad. Oh wait, you don't need the ingot. Why did I make the ingot? Oh, the ingot is for capacitors. Yes. Oh, if that is the case, we can actually have like way more. Not way more. An extra one. I did manage to make a few silicons. 2 of them have been cut. But we have 36 platinum metallic powder. That will be cooked and will be converted into nuggets. Every 15 seconds. That's not amazing. Do we have more? 10 more. Well, we need 3, so we take 9. Yay! Our first platinum. And since we have exactly 9 nuggets, we can have an ingot. If I find the cast. There you go. No, that's nuggets. Oh, I know where it is. It's here. I was using it for something else. It's okay. I'll make 1 more. Lovely. That's 1 platinum ingot. We need the fine version. So that 1 ingot is not really gonna help us that much, but essentially, if we get 1 more ingot, which we will very soon, I can make 1 stack of SMD diodes. I think with tantalum, it's almost the same ratio, so it doesn't really matter. I had to prepare a few resources, but I'm using our high voltage chemical reactor in order to make some sludge. Tiny pile of platinum group sludge dust. Yeah, I'm also using all of our gallium arsenide in order to, you know, make the dust. I'm also really hoping that this is going to give me 2 stacks of diodes. Yeah, what did I do wrong? Oh, circuit number 3. Okay. Oh, you're gonna take ages. Okay. Also, I thought I have a ton of sulfuric acid. It turns out I was wrong. This doesn't last that much. Well, it's fine. After we get to oil processing, this is gonna be super fast. Well, that's a good start. That's 1 stack. So I can start making circuits. 1 more time. We're going to try and make at least 1 stack of high voltage circuits for the machines that we're going to need later. I would have made more, but I don't think you can use it for the workstation. Yeah, you can't. Oh, wait a minute. Blue alloy. I remember that used to take a lot of time. It's electrotin and silver. That doesn't take time. Because there's now an electrotin vein. You don't have to make it actually. This used to take long. Making the electrotin. I do have to go to the nether and mine anyways. But that's great, our circuit assembling machine is working again. Can't be happier than this. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.